Hello Capricorn and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a reading looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future for January of 2023. As you can see, I've already gone ahead and pulled the oracle cards and clarified those as well. And then I've got a tarot deck we'll dive into, and then I have my clarifying deck and my soul truth self-awareness deck, is that what it's called? Yeah. This is my favorite deck. This is my favorite oracle deck ever. But anyway, these will be what we'll use in the extended. Any information on the extended or personal readings is in the description box below. Now, there's this disclaimer I feel like I need to give about this reading because I can already tell this looks like a hard truth kind of reading. Seems to just be the case with my readings. And my disclaimer is, first and foremost, please remember this is a general reading. This reading is not meant to resonate for everybody. It's meant to resonate with the people that find it and feel pulled or guided to it. On the flip side, if you have at any point feel triggered or feel as if I am poking too much at a situation that you don't feel ready to talk about, you don't need to watch this reading. This might not be a message that you are ready for yet. Now, the other thing that I like to say is that the advice that I give in my readings is purely stemming from the way that I would handle a situation myself based on what I've experienced. So I'm trying to speak from a place of experience, and it is not coming from a place of feeling like I know more than anybody else on this journey. We are all just trying to get by. The advice that I give, I very much channel. My intention is to channel the messages of highest truth and compassion, and that is what I'm going to be doing today. Now, I try to keep my talking under a minute. We're reaching 2, so I'm going to jump in, but if this doesn't feel like something that you are wanting to hear right now, or ready to hear right now, then just, you don't have to watch the reading. Okay. Recent past, you have nothing as yet set in stone with the Tower. This to me feels like you are currently approaching the possibility of a Tower moment. Now, what that means is, and it's definitely possible to avoid Tower moments. Tower moments is the falling away of something that isn't meant for you to make way of something new, but they're often pretty emotional, and it can often feel like just very overwhelming. Because in your current energy, you have balance, spirituality, and practicality with the 3 of Pentacles. You are very disconnected from yourself right now. And you're acting from a place of survival mode. And that survival mode is actually leading you down the wrong path. Now, you are not on the wrong path. That's not what I'm saying. Our path is here, and we're always on that path. Sometimes we might veer off and kind of go the wrong way for a second, but that's when Tower moments have to happen so that it brings us back to where we should be. Now, this is kind of where I felt like I needed to sometimes, and it happens very rarely, but it's happened like 2 or 3 times in my readings over the past couple of weeks, is I'll pull a card and it won't feel like it's the energy that I would usually say that card means, and I'll feel the need to look in here in the booklet for a specific word. So in your immediate future, you have adjustments are required, and then you have this Page of Wands in reverse. Now, this Page of Wands in reverse energy is what I felt like I needed to look up, and here's what the words were. It's lazy, pessimism, unfocused, or arrogance. I feel like this is talking a little bit more about maybe like just pessimism or just a negative outlook on life. And that negative outlook on life is causing you to make decisions. It goes back to what I said, based on survival mode and not based on what actually aligns with you. And that's where I feel like the adjustment is needed. But let's see. Let's see what the tarot has to say. Okay, this is recent past for Capricorn. Clarifying, nothing is yet set in stone with the Tower. This is recent past for Capricorn. Your recent past was leading you to the Tower. It's control. So, and there's more disconnect. So it's like you have this 2 of Cups in reverse. You have this King of Swords and you have this Emperor. And all of these cards to me feel very for lack of a better word, ego based. Now, our ego isn't a bad thing. Our ego is actually what keeps us safe. Our ego is our survival mechanism that was built, or built-in survival mechanism. But when you get on a spiritual journey and you really start to learn about aligning with the universe and aligning with what's meant for you, and learning to be mindful and things like that, you learn that you don't have to be in survival mode. You learn that as long as your belief system aligns with believing that the universe always has your back, then you're always going to experience that, because our thoughts become our beliefs, become our actions, become our reality. Now, you, to an extent, have this Emperor in reverse energy. This is this energy of, if I don't make it happen, if I don't force it to happen, it's never going to happen. So it is a belief that the universe doesn't have your back, and it stems from this like disconnection with yourself. I actually think this is upright. I don't, it doesn't, either way, this Two of Cups to me is like this balance within. And the balance within is, I mean, you have balanced spirituality and practicality, not getting too caught up in the spiritual side of life and not getting too caught up in the practical side of life. And we'll talk more about that when we get to the current energy. But in your recent past, it was a lot of control. And then there's that Page of Wands in reverse on the back of the deck, the same as this Page of Wands. And there's the Five of Swords. This card literally means it's a me against the world and mentality. So this me against the world and mentality. Now, I do feel like I need to say it stems from, if you feel you need to protect yourself, it's because you've been through situations that have hurt you. And so the hard truth about this reading is really diving in and saying, how did I play a role in manifesting the things that didn't go well for me? That does not mean that what has happened to you is your fault. That's not what I'm saying. If you have been through situations of, say, abuse or loss that is just beyond, fathomable of how to heal from it, that's why I gave that disclaimer at the beginning of this reading, is to say, what is meant for you will never pass you. What is supposed to happen always will. Everything is always working out for you, not to you. But that is a really, really hard truth to come to terms with. The fact that the way that things play out in our life is because of how we've manifested it with our previous thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. Now, the cool thing about recognizing that is being able to say, if I've manifested it because of my, negative mindset, then that means I can change my mindset to align with good feeling, thoughts and emotions. So this has a lot to do with just general pessimism that has stemmed from past experiences. Now, that pessimism is leading you toward the Tower. And this is the Sun. So you have the Sun with the Knight of Swords in reverse. No, Sun with the Knight of Swords. Yeah, Knight of Swords in reverse. There is a need to find a little bit of optimism right now, Capricorn. And that's not me saying this need for toxic positivity, because you can both sit with the way that things don't feel good while also believing that there is better out there for you. And I feel what happens is, when things don't look or feel so good in your world, there's a part of you that believes that they're never going to get better. And that belief of things never ever getting better causes you to manifest things never getting better in a sustainable way. And so in your recent past, it's almost like the way that you control your circumstance, the way that your mindset impacts your circumstances became very obvious. Now, whether or not it became consciously obvious to you or not, there were situations that you were in that you could have looked at and said, oh, this negative thing probably, it's like the energy of, like, you're going to go to this grocery store, or you're going to go to the grocery store the day of Thanksgiving. And you're like, oh, this is going to suck. There's going to be so many people there. It's going to be a 3-hour long checkout line. I'm probably not going to be able to find parking. They probably won't even have what I want. I waited too long. I always do this. Like, this complaining that happens before you even get there, that energy does manifest. In the book The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, she talks about how it's like I don't remember if it was a study that was conducted or what, but she talked about how the people who, no, it wasn't a study. It was just, you can always tell, like the people who will say like, oh, I always find parking, I always find the best parking, are usually the people who always find good parking because they believe they will. And so this is about you taking responsibility for how your belief system, how your mindset has given you situations that don't feel good. It's because you to a certain extent you expect them. And there's the 3 of Pentacles with the Justice card. You know, this over time, this disappointment that you've been met with in your life. Yep, there's the 5 of Swords in reverse again. This disappointment that you've just constantly experienced for I don't know how long, a very long time. It has caused you to almost completely disconnect from your optimistic side. And Capricorn, I feel like you used to be a pretty optimistic person, or like you are an optimistic person at heart, but life has made it very hard for you to feel that way. The Justice card here to me is saying like the things that you've been through, and this is like a big theme that I've recognized in my life and in the life of the people around me, that you've experienced what you've needed to experience, the loss, the heartbreak, the frustration. You've experienced it because you needed to, because there were lessons involved and perspective shifts involved that even though they might have felt subtle, like you might not even consciously realize that you've been having these shifts in perspective, they were necessary. And so what I'm seeing here is with the nothing is yet set in stone in the Tower, it's almost like your pessimism could lead to another negative event in your life, or you could check yourself before you wreck yourself. Is kind of what I'm getting here. And I think that's why this current energy, let's see, because of your current energy, you have balance, spirituality, and practicality with the 3 of Pentacles. This 3 of Pentacles in reverse to me, there's the 10 of Wands in reverse and the star. So you currently have the ability to heal and just set this burden down. There's a need to set this burden down. Okay, it's happening again. I feel like I need to look at this 10 of Wands. I don't know why this has been happening so much. Hope. Hope, recovery, acceptance, and renewal, which is funny because this in reverse is hope, and this also can mean hope. So this is aligning again with hope, optimism. And I feel like there's a level of you that's afraid to be optimistic because you've been let down so many times. But the thing is, the more it's like people, you know, we as humans, we have this idea that like, oh, if we expect, it's like expect the worst, hope for the best. Like you're always prepared for things to go wrong. Or I'm sorry, not expect the worst, hope for the best. That's not what I was trying to say. What's the saying I'm trying to say? I get like what I'm getting at is like if you expect the worst, then you're always going to be prepared for whatever hurt might come your way. But the fact is that isn't true. You can't prepare yourself for pain. It's going to hurt the same way no matter how much you try to prepare for it ahead of time. So trying to be pessimistic about your circumstances because you're afraid that they're not going to, you know, turn out the way you want them to, that doesn't help you. All that does is manifest more. So putting down your burden of believing that the past is going to repeat itself. But the thing is, with nothing is yet set in stone in the Tower, right now, you have the ability to change the outcome. You have the ability to change the outcome. It's going to come with healing and focusing on your internal world, because there it is. You have the Strength in reverse with the 4 of Wands in reverse. This is a lack of confidence. And that lack of confidence, this lack, like confidence, hope, excitement, like all of that, like a lack of all of that is with this 4 of Wands in reverse is causing you to build on an unstable foundation, meaning you're building on the foundation of things are probably not going to work out, but if they do, then I guess that's good. But all you're doing is you're bringing in this energy of things will probably not work out. And that energy within itself is keeping things from working out for you, keeping things from coming together. And, it's hard because you feel this way because of what you've experienced. But that's why we have to heal what we've experienced so we don't expect them to repeat. Because things have to repeat in order to heal. And that's where tower moments come in. Is oftentimes we'll invest in a repetition of a cycle because it still needs to be healed. And then a tower moment will have to come, and there will have to be this falling away, and so on and so forth. So what this is saying is you have the ability to avoid negative circumstances by avoiding negativity in the way that you interact with your life. That's essentially all this is. Right now, because there's the Two of Cups in reverse again, you really are at a disconnect with yourself. Like maybe like experiencing dissociation or like not, I mean, it's for sure not being present, because being present is connecting with yourself. There's a need to get back to yourself in a way. Whether you do that through meditation, journaling, going on walks or runs or exercising or doing a hobby that you enjoy, there's this need to reconnect with yourself. You've been trying to avoid, on a certain level, spending time with yourself. And I get it. It's easier to move fast than it is to slow down and kind of have to face, everything that we're talking about, your fear, your uncertainty, your pessimism, and really look it in the eye and say, where'd you come from? How can I fix you? Not fix you, but how can I release you? So this is your current energy, is really this need to kind of focus on reconnecting with yourself so that it's like learning to be more mindful so that you can get a leg up on this pessimism. Okay, immediate future for Capricorn. See, this is a hard truth reading, and I don't ever want any of my listeners to think that I'm like, I never make these mistakes and I'm always perfect. Of course I don't. I fall into pessimistic cycles all the time. Well, there's that tower. I was wondering where it was going to come. So your immediate future is, so there's the Two of Wands and the Moon in reverse. This is releasing fear about your path. Your pessimism, your lack of hope, it stems from fearing that the past is going to repeat itself. So it's super understandable why you feel and have the energy you do, but that energy is what's going to create this tower here. There's this need in your immediate future. I feel like you're going to be put in situations where you're going to kind of have to face a lot of your fear of things not working out and respond to it with optimism. Now, optimism isn't just positivity. It's the acceptance of how things are while also keeping the hope for how things could be. It's like that, because there's that Nine of Swords. You guys have been kind of like riddled with anxiety about where you're headed next. And that anxiety is keeping you from where you're trying to go at all. Okay, immediate future for Capricorn. So your immediate future is like this need to look past fear. Look through the lens, like you're right now, you're looking through the lens of fear. It's the need to like look past fear. Take off the rose-colored glasses. No, put on the rose-colored glasses. Forget what I just said about rose-colored glasses. That's not the right analogy. Having trouble with analogies in this reading. But the only way you can do that, the only way you can see through the illusion of fear is by being in a connected place with yourself. So that's why, the universe is helping you take this one step at a time. Right now is this energy of needing to reconnect with yourself, get back into tune, back into alignment, so that because you do have adjustments are required, so that when you're faced with situations that make you not feel so good, You can say, this situation isn't great. This sucks. I'm being triggered. I feel these emotions, but this doesn't mean that this is how it's going to be forever. This is just how it is right now. And responding to situations with that level of optimism actively creates better situations for you in the future. Okay, immediate future for Capricorn. The Two of Swords. It's like with the Nine of Wands, it's like your immediate future, you're going to be at this crossroads. It's like the universe is saying, is like giving you this option. Oh my gosh, this was almost exactly like your reading last week. Not exactly, not the reading, but like the future outcome was like, I remember that the title of the video was like, what are you going to do? Because this really is like, you have the ability to either choose to continue to stay in your current mindset and repeat cycles, or change your mindset to change your life. And the only way you can do that is by reconnecting with yourself, getting back into tune with yourself, allowing yourself to, because there's the Two of Wands. This is about your path. We just saw that Nine of Swords with the Two of Wands. You aren't, just because things aren't working out the way you think they should doesn't mean they're not working out. Optimism, hope, faith. Faith is huge, and I don't mean faith in anything specific. I just mean faith in better. Just faith in better. Believe that there's better. And it's so hard, especially when you've experienced so much loss and disappointment. I know it's so hard to have faith, but this whole journey is about faith. And it's faith in you, it's faith in the universe. It's learning to have faith. All right, immediate future for Capricorn. There's that King of Swords that we saw in the beginning. It's like, it's certainty. The King of Swords to me is this certain energy. It's approaching things saying, I am so certain that things are working out for me, that it doesn't actually matter what's happening right now, because I know that no matter what, I'm being led to something better. And that certainty creates your Ten of Pentacles here. And it's not certainty in something specific. It's not saying, oh, I'm so certain that this is going to play out exactly like this, or this specific person is going to come back to me, or this specific job is going to make me this specific amount of money. That's not what I'm saying. It's certainty in saying, the universe has my back. The universe is supporting me toward everything that I want, and all I have to do is believe that, and believe that if something isn't working out for me, then that means that that thing wasn't meant for me, or isn't meant for me yet. Because the universe is always working for us. We work against ourselves by believing that the universe doesn't have our back. So that's what this whole reading is about, is that, I mean, it's about faith, and it's faith in you, faith in the universe, faith in your healing, and really allowing yourself to move forward into a new mindset, therefore kind of a new life. All right, Capricorn, we're going to hop on over to the extended. I'm going to clarify these cards and these messages, and then I have my advice card with this is my favorite deck, my Soul Truth. Self-awareness deck it's a favorite deck that I have ever found. And any information on that extended reading or a personal reading is in the description box below. Thank you so much, Capricorn, and I hope to see you again in future readings.